Hello, 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 everyone. It's Kim from K&RP here in southeastern Manitoba. It is a beautiful sunshiny day, off and on a bit of clouds. Currently, it is 4 degrees Celsius, which means it's 38 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's actually a beautiful day out there. We've got some melting happening, and that's a bonus, except that it makes things very sloppy and could be really slippery if you don't watch where you're walking. So it's been a while since I've streamed. My hand is still not up 100%, but I have been able to play. I did a lot of, hey, nice to see you, Andrea. Nice to see you. Yeah, I did a lot of doodling while I only had the one hand. I think my neighbor still has a remote control for my bad hand because there's some things it still doesn't, just kind of doesn't belong to me yet. 100%, but I am getting better every day. I'm playing, and that's all that matters. So I figured, I'd just kind of pop in and visit and show you kind of what I've been up to. Um, the physiotherapist said, use it the way you would normally use it. So I've been doing that. And she said knitting would be a good thing to do. Hey, Belinda, nice to see you too. Welcome, welcome. So can I've been working on dishcloths. I had started that knitting challenge in February and I was going to do a dishcloth a day, but that kind of fell to the wayside since I couldn't use it. So I can knit a row a day and I can still kind of, do other things. Um, but yeah, I'm getting there, slow but sure. Fabulous to be back. So, what I have been creating while I have been gone, of course, I didn't make it to the February or January Sunday meeting where the ladies meet up in Winnipeg. January was too cold, so I didn't make it to that. So I still have all the ATCs for that. I did make these ATCs for February. My daughter had come and visited, and I got her to cut them for me. So they're all, my stick people, and they all say practice rituals of joy and, dancing people. So those are my ATCs for February. And then this month, there was a theme to the ATCs. The meeting is on Sunday. So those are sitting here too. So since the theme was spring, no, the baby's still not here. It's in there with crazy glue. She's past her due date and she's huge and uncomfortable and nothing yet. Nothing. Poor kid. So the theme for this month was spring. So I actually cut these myself. My daughter cut last month's. I cut these myself. So they're really close to ATC size. And because it was spring, um, she just doesn't want to share. My granddaughter-in-law just doesn't want to share that baby. I keep asking my grandson, so is your daughter coming out to play yet? No, nothing. So it was spring, the theme for, I'm all over the place, guys. I'm just glad to be back, but you know how I bounce. Um, so it was spring. So I figured I'd do it on green. And these are a lot of the flowers that I doodled while I was one-handed. And I put the little saying on, spring is sprung, grass is riz, wonder where the birdies is. So those are for my March ATC swap. So my ATCs are done and up to date as far as I know. Hey, Miss Alvy K, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I don't know. We're just thinking that baby girl's as stubborn as the rest of the women in the family. That's why she's not coming out while it's still winter. So I also did some book boards. You know, when you're down to one hand, you do what you can, right? So I had the monsters. These are photocopies of my monsters, and they were all pre-cut. So I've got them in a bag sitting over there, suffocating because it's a plastic bag. They can't get air. So I figured I'd let them out to play. But the other background bits are some of the grungy papers that I did. I had them all over the bathroom floor and I kept pouring stuff on them, spritzing them with things. I stamped them with some of my hand carved stamps with some paint, and I made book boards out of them. So these little bits are made, and I actually managed to cut them out because for some reason I can hold things in these fingers. Oh, I broke my left wrist at the beginning of February. Hey, Lee, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I broke my left wrist at the beginning of February. And so the cast's been off for a couple of weeks and it's getting stronger and better every day. So I figured I could come in and at least show you what I've been up to. Oh, yeah, it is. It's definitely getting better. So I used my monsters and I made book boards because, my thought, because I was looking at all the stuff I have doodled and done since my wrist has been down, and there's other stuff that I have been creating for the Artomatic machine. I think this is going to be a year of journals. I'm going to do color-coded journals just to use up my stuff because I have far too much stuff. So this wasn't what I have created in the past little while, but I've been cleaning and coming across things. Um, Last March, I decided I was going to do the 100 tiny painting challenge. Do you guys remember when I was doing that? I didn't give it up. I just, hey, Lisa, nice to see you. I've got about 30 of them done. And so I'm going to do a flip through. We're supposed to have 100 of them. I don't know what I've got here, but I do have hand-painted tags that will make up the other part of the 100. So these are all, oh, see, the hand doesn't want to turn that way. We'll do it this way. All little hand-painted mini paintings. It was for, somebody had done a thing for, can you do 100 mini paintings in a week? So they're all different sizes, but they're little. Had fun doing them. Some of them are kind of on the uglier side, but you know what? When you're working little, I don't think they have to be as perfect. Well, maybe they should be more perfect. I don't know. Am I fuzzy? A little bit, eh? So yeah, I've got, oh, see, these were, some of them were painted. That one was got a bird. These ones were just in there waiting to be painted. They're not done. That's okay. They can stay in that box. I'm not worried about those. Yeah. Oh, exactly. Exactly. These ones are kind of stuck together for some reason. Try painting a lighthouse on a 2-inch circle. Of course, had to do a lady. Still love my birds. I'm pretty sure I showed a lot of these while I was doing them. Of course, flowers. So yeah, the idea was to do 100 paintings in a year, 100 tiny paintings in a year. So like I said, I'm pretty sure I've got like 30 or so. What size are they? Oh, they vary. Hey, Tina, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Mine are all over the place. The lady that's doing it, I can't remember her name, but I saw that she had just put out another video on doing tiny paintings. It's, you challenge yourself kind of thing. She cut hers all out the same size to do over the year. And I know that Cindy was also doing it. I can't Cindy hasn't been here for a while, but she was also doing it. No, no, they just had to be tiny paintings. I know that Carol was also doing it last year. I'm not sure if she finished. So there's Carol. Speak of angels, right? So I was just doing my 100 tiny paintings from last year. That always got to do a mushroom because they're fast and simple to do. So, like I say, there's about 30 here that I did. And thanks, Tina. Yeah, like the ones on the little tag things here, I don't have 100 of them, but I did over 100 hand painted tags for the Artomatic machine. So I'm considering those as part of the paintings. So I had a variety. Like a lot of people were just doing landscapes or whatever. I just played, but so yeah, that was my start of 100 tiny paintings, and then I did a whole bunch of hand painted tags for the vending machine. So I did probably 20 of these guys. Yeah, I saw that she posted for this year again. I can't remember her name. So I've got, they're the same but different, right? Like trees. And of course, I do roses because I find them super simple to do. So I painted a whack load of tags and I grouped them in packages of 10 and I put them in for that vending machine. So even though they're, kind of all the same, they are hand painted differently. Lisa, oh, could be. That sounds familiar, Carol. That definitely sounds familiar. So total variety of hand painted tags. So I'm considering that I completed my 100 tiny paintings. Black load of feathers. Again, they're all different. I did cats on heads because, you got to have some fun tags in there, right? And they're tags for any occasion, is what I was selling them as. And of course, you got to have some tags that are semi holiday specific. I think this is the only one of my little bluebirds I did that I have left. Who knows? Maybe I've got a whack load of them left. I have no idea what actually sold and what didn't. And I did cats. And I did sunsets. Oh, more sunsets. And then I did florals. And I think there were a few others that I did that I, only did a few of, so they're all gone. There's another one there. Bless you. So, yeah, that's my hand painting. So I've considered that I actually managed to do my 100 paintings because I'm sure that there's probably 60 here. Maybe. I don't know. But if I consider everything that I already took and put in the vending machine, there's definitely over 100 little paintings because there's over 100 paintings there. So I did manage to finish the tiny paintings. Yay! Something complete. So then, like I said, I had a whole bunch of paper spread all over the bathroom floor, and I kept pouring muck water on it and spritzing it with things. So I have lots and lots and lots of grunge papers to use in journals. I did these up as a bit of a series because I like to have more than, when I do a journal, I like to have a little bit of a flow. So these are kind of like cluster doodle, I don't know what you want to call them, but they're, grungy scrap, what have yous for journals. And then what else have I done? I did all that doodling. Now, when was it last year or the year before? I was trying to use up some kids' watercolor paints. They were in those big squeezy tubes, and they're like just a temper paint. So I took pages and pages of that Korean dictionary, and I did various shapes on them. So I doodled all these while I was down to one hand. Like I doodled on each of these pages, either with black, white. I shaded some because I could do that. I ended up getting a blister on the arm that I had, on the elbow of the arm that I had the cast on. Okay, Andrea, because I was holding the papers down with that elbow so that I could doodle on them. So, I've got like a bazillion bits that need to be used now, right? Like, because they're all doodled. I just have to cut them out. And then red ones. And then black and white ones. So I did all this doodling while I was down with just one hand. You know how that goes. I know you know how that goes. So now I've got all this stuff that I have to use. So that's why I'm thinking I should do color, like specific color journals, like blue or orange or whatever. So then, of course, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what else could I possibly do with only one hand? Well, not much, because putting weight on this hand is still very uncomfortable. But I decided that what if when I'm doing my journals, because I'm planning on doing the journals, and I want to use a lot of my painty papers. But we all know that when you've got painty papers in your journal, either you can't write on them because people don't have pens that can write on the paint, or the paint is so heavy that you can't see writing on top of it. So so I'm trying to think of ways I can use my painty papers aside from clusters and critters and that kind of thing. And then I thought, okay, so when somebody's writing a book or whatever, they say that you're weaving a story. And so I thought I would like to do weavings in a journal. Now we all know that I'm using we all know today. It's my phrase of the day. So each and every one of us have played with paper weaving. I have lots of little bunches of paper weaving with scraps of painty paper. No rhyme or reason to colors or anything. Just little scraps put together, woven together with, that I can use as a background and then put something as the focal point on. Then I was thinking, well, why can't I weave right on the journal page? So I sliced on this scrap paper just to see if I could do it. I didn't glue anything in, so these papers aren't a waste. So I was thinking, okay, so I could weave across the top. That could also be down a side. I could just do a corner like this one. This is the one I first started with. Excuse me. So the idea was I would cut a 1-inch strip of painty paper, fold it in half so that it's on both sides, cut the slices in the paper, and just do a little weaving in with the painty paper. And that way painty paper is getting used. You can see it both sides. It strengthens the corner that little bit. Of course, this could just be a focal point too, where you could put a flower or something on top of it. I've got flowers right here. You know, put a flower to the side, something. So I was thinking that could make great corners in journals. It would be a great way to use up some painty paper, especially if the painty papers are kind of on the fugly side, right? That it would be a nice use for it. So as I say, I would cut them in 1-inch strips, fold them in half so that both sides had the paint on, and the middles could just be whatever, because I don't know about you, but a lot of times my painted papers, the backs are really, really ugly because I'm not the not the neatest when it comes to pulling up off gel plates and things. So I would like to do a couple of journals where I weave on the corners of the papers. And then I'm thinking too that, could always have something. It's too little to have a tuck, but hi, Teresa, welcome, welcome. Thought it would be kind of cute. So then when I did this, I started with this one, just a little corner to see what I thought. So when I did this, I was thinking, well, why don't I cut the ends like points, so that it's kind of like an arrow, but we could have them sticking out the edge of the page so that it's like page tabs, right? Could have arrows on this side, could poke a penta hole and have like a dangle or something in there. So I'm going to be utilizing this kind of thing for decorating on the journals. So now I'm not sure if maybe one day out of the month I will work on journal pages with you guys. I know I want to do the find a thing on Pinterest and then adapt it to do it in various different ways. You know how that goes. So then I started another black and white zine because as I was cleaning, I found a black and white paper that I used for cutting a stencil out or a mask out of for the Cricut. Or I cut it on the Cricut and use it on my gel plate. So I figured, let's turn that into a black and white journal. So I started with that. My plan is not to start anything I don't finish. Good luck, right? Good luck on that. But, so, I have lots of little bits of black and white paper and things I'll be adding to this. It's going to sit on my desk and I'm just going to add to it whenever. Now, I don't remember if I showed you guys these. I had been watching, was it Sashibo or someone who was doing page tabs. So she would take any shape of paper and or file folder, cardstock, fold it in half, and then glue like a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch at the outside, so that, and then she punched holes and she had eyelets and dangles in them. Well, now I'm thinking if I didn't put those holes in, now I feel like I have to have little stringies or something out of this. But I did do a few more of these kinds of things when I came across file folders and stuff while I was cleaning. So then I came across all these chunks of blank colored paper. I have stuff, guys. And I don't know if you have seen Jean's journal that she's making. She's almost doing like a diary, and she did different size sections on her pages. And she's not doing it every day, but she's, it's a beautiful concept. So you could have like 4 days on one page, 3 on the other, 2, depending on how much you write. So I thought maybe I would use these to do a little journal and keep track of stuff, things that happened. And then I'm thinking, no, I've got too many other ideas for journals. So I have all these bits that are going to end up as lined paper or maybe just pocket stuffers. So before I broke my wrist, I don't know if I showed you this book, paper bag book. The signatures are just in with elastics. And so every time I came across something, I would glue it in and do that. And then, it wasn't this journal. It was this journal? Nope. Hang on, I'm looking for the journal that I was talking about. This journal? I have like 20 journals on the go. We know that. This one. This one. This journal. So I've been doodling in that because I've been doodling. But then what I found was if you took a texture plate and you put it underneath in the blank spots, you could add texture. Maybe this wasn't this journal either. Which journal did I do that in? Oh, well, that's annoying. Anyway, maybe it was this journal. So on a texture plate, and then you just you can just add little marks. So I was thinking too, when I do the color journals, then I could always do like a corner with background texture. And so I think my journals are going to be very eclectic as usual. There's paper weaving. But I'd like to do an entire book with weavings in it, and it'll be kind of like weave your story or, something like that. I'm sure I have something like that. I really want to show you. But I'm sure you guys get the idea. Here we go. That one's glued down, so I did it on a little piece of paper and glued it in. But I know that there was one of my 200 journals that are going that I did it right in the journal. I put a texture plate under the page and added. Goodness gracious. So out of the entire month, aside from waiting for this baby to come, I have done so much doodling. It's basically what I have been doing. The doodling and thinking of things to use the stuff with. My Sunday group, we are doing friendship journals. And at the end, we're going to swap with somebody else in the group. So one of the things I had to do was a pocket with tags. So I did this pocket. This is going to be a pocket, so it'll be glued down. It has a slice in it. And then I did these tags. So, and I did it so that the flowers are foldy. The reason being is I can stick them at an angle in the vase, and then the flowers can be kind of overlapping each other so that it actually looks like flowers. So that is going to go in my friendship journal for the group thing that I'm doing. I don't have the journal yet because, as I say, I wasn't there in January. I wasn't there in February. I'm really looking forward to going this Sunday. I hope we don't get freezing rain or something because it's time to get out and about. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been up to. What have you guys been up to? I know I've crossed your paths at Carol's and at Jean's and stuff, but what have you guys been working on? I know that Carol's working on her field notes journal. Carol, I know I'm still going to send you those papers. I just need two hands to do it. So once this hand will let me put enough pressure on to hold the book so I can cut, I will definitely get some of those pages to you. In the shop lasering? Yeah. So you only get kind of like a month or so where it's quiet for you because between the Christmas markets and the tourist times really doesn't give you abstract paintings. Nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. I've been watching a few different videos. I came across this Bill Blast 610. He's an artist and he showed a different way of doodling. He does it in sketchbooks. Um, but he's like an artist. It was very interesting. You know, he was using watercolor pencil and then dipping his hands in water, and it was just really, really awesome. Oh, you got a huge replacement order? Yeah. That's nice though. You know, it's lovely when you get return customers for sure. For sure. Oh yeah, the other thing, paints alcohol markets, nice. Definitely mixed media. And how are you enjoying it, Belinda? That's okay, Lisa. That silly temperature blanket I did last year. I can't remember how often I had to go and fill in where I dropped so much stitches it was noticeable. The way I look at it, it's a blanket, and oh, that's good, Belinda. I know it's a blanket, but I don't. It's for my bed. I'm not worried about it. My daughter said that hers is really, really tapered, so she's just thinking of putting a big border on so that it's narrow at one end and bigger at the other end. You're making your own designs? I like that. I like that. I love doing abstract too. It's been a while since I've done a painting. I'm fixated on the little stuff. The other thing that we were supposed to do for the swap this month for my group is a trifold journal. Now, with pockets. So I did a trifold. I think it's a journal. You turn the page, it's a journal, right? So I did this. And again, these are the doodles that I did while I was down and out. So it's like two-sided. and I got to stuff it with all kinds of stuff. I just don't know how I want to close it. I'm going to have to do a big closure on it. So, cross stitch, counter cross stitch. Oh, it's been a long time since I've done that too. I bet you I could do that with one hand. I could probably even do some slow stitching and just, although I'm supposed to use this hand as much as possible, I can pick a few things up with it now. I still have a problem with anything that's got any weight to it, and my grip isn't great. So I'll pick it up in this hand and hand it to my other hand, kind of thing. What kind of, like, are you doing like a tapestry counted cross stitch, or are you doing pillows? Are you doing Christmas ornaments? Bookmarks? Hey, Malia, nice to see you, hon. So lovely to see you. I was just doing a show and tell of the things that were keeping me out of trouble for the past month. Lots of doodling and little things, lots and lots of little things. And the decision that I really have to start using all my doodles and things and use them up, because what else am I going to do with them? My kids are just going to throw them out. Mind you, they'll probably just throw out my journals if I don't get rid of them either, but it will be what it will be. 4 by 4 inch piece that you'll probably frame. Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I used to do petty point, needle point, and bargello, and like the yarn embroidery, which is called crewel, and macrame. Like, I can still do all that stuff. I just haven't. I actually saw, I guess it was a quilting thing, where she had a fish that was painted on a piece of fabric. Pretty sure it was a fish painted on a piece of fabric. Maybe it was a pattern of fabric that had a fish on it. I'm not sure. Anyway, it was down in the bottom corner. And then she slow stitched and quilted other pieces around it. It was really gorgeous. It was on a block, so I don't know if she had planned on framing it, or if she was going to use it as a pillow topping, or, you know. My friend's mom was Ukrainian background, and she had all these incredible cross stitch pillows, and they were big, and they had all like the Ukrainian designs, like the patterns, and the usually in red, white, and black. Did they have other colors? Yellow, maybe? Anyway, absolutely stunning. And they had all these pillows, and I'm thinking, I don't know that I would want to have pillows that decorative on my couch, especially not with a house full of kids. They really are. They really, really are. I love looking at all the crochet work and stuff on Pinterest that the women in Europe do. Like, wow. Do needle lacing? Needle lacing? Is that like the I don't know what needle lacing is. That sounds very interesting. Somebody just posted on my group the Viking knitting that they used for socks, and it was really interesting too. Once this hand is um, like I still struggle just to get my thumb and baby finger to touch. So I, I want to try a whole bunch of that stuff. Making doilies using just thread and a needle. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, is it like tatting maybe? I don't think I've got the eyesight just to use thread. Like I'm sure that I wouldn't be able to crochet thread anymore. I can do this, like crochet cotton. Oh look, I picked that up without problems. Yeah, I saw that she finally got her uh carpal tunnel surgery done. That's so awesome. Her hand's pretty bruised though, but I'm sure that she's going to be really happy once she heals. Because I know that that was really irritating to her that she couldn't crochet as much as she likes to crochet. See, that's one thing I never learned either was tatting. I've always wanted to learn tatting. The other thing I really would like to learn is knitting on 4 needles for doing like socks and things. I think that would be absolutely wonderful. Yeah, yeah. No, going numb is not fun. It really isn't. Yeah, Shannon, art junkie, Shannon, Allie. Yeah, I have so much stuff. I like making little things. Like I've got all those embroidered hearts. I've got the beaded hearts. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I've wanted to do boho style purses. I think this is just going to be a year of whatever I happen to be on working that day. I'm going to drag you guys in on whatever I'm doing. So it's not going to be planned. Not that any of my streams are planned, but I think that whatever happens to be passing my day, that's peacock feathers. Awesome. Drag you along? Definitely. Would love to. There's like I want to do like 3D Goonie birds, like soft sculpture Goonie birds. That's your year too? Yeah. I don't want to I want to finish things and I don't want to start anything without finishing them. And I've found that over the last couple of years playing on here, I've started a lot of projects on a stream and I don't finish it. So it's going to be a year of getting things finished. I said I wasn't going to start anything new, but as far as I'm concerned, I would really like to do some jelly printing. I would really like to do some painty papers. I probably have 1,000 painty papers that I need to use before I make more. So that's why I'm thinking of doing the journals. And as I say, I'm probably going to do them single color or maybe a rainbow, maybe rainbow style journals. They're going to have all kinds of different pockets and tucks and things. So they're going to be really eclectic. I have no idea what they're going to happen. All right. All right. Yeah, Carol, I think that that's kind of the way I'm going to do too. You just bought a new plate? Yeah. Well, I've got my old plate, but I mean, I use other things as plates as well. I was watching this lady. Oh my word. I don't think they were doing it on a gel plate, but I want to try it on a gel plate. So you have the painty surface, and there was a lot of paint on it. It was really, really thick. Then she took a plastic bag and filled it up with air and tied it so that it was like a balloon. And she put the um, tied side down, and she put it down, and she turned it and pulled it up, and it did these really wild flowers. And she covered the entire piece of paint thing, and it was absolutely incredible. So I think she had like a yellow underneath and then red on top, but it was all wet still, obviously. And she just kind of twisted all over, and it was beautiful. So, Jesus. Ah, okay. Nice, nice. So, and it was incredible. So I would love to try that on a gel plate and pull it. Yeah, but it wasn't a balloon. It was just a plastic bag. So it was not exactly round, if that makes sense. I mean, I have used a balloon on a gel plate, and I've used it on a paint pour to pull and get flowers. I just haven't thought of using a plastic bag. I mean, we've all scrunched up plastic bags and blotted backgrounds and things. But there's a lot of those kinds of things that I really want to try. Plus, I bought a whole bunch of various mark making, not mark making things, but texture things that I could use on my gel plate. And I haven't had a chance to use them because I have difficulty pulling off the plate with just one hand. So now that I've got two hands again, but I have to use up a lot of the papers that I've got first. And then it doesn't help that I did all those grungy pages either because, yeah, I've got a lot of stuff I have to use up. And of course, I've been coffee dyeing paper because I figured that I would do the color and white pages in the book or maybe coffee dyed. I haven't decided. Either way, I'm going to have a whack load of papers to, and then I want to decide what size journals I want to make. I don't want to make journals that are like the 3-inch thick ones like I normally do because you never get your money out of, not that that's a super concern of mine, but I don't want to start selling my stuff cheap because other people, you know, I don't know. Selling your work is so double-edged sword, I find. I really find that pricing and I never get what my stuff is worth time wise. And I know that, you're supposed to include your time in it. I just don't anymore because Manitoba's is cheap. They're really cheap here. Do you feel the same way? You get a lot of tourist stuff there, though. I mean, when I was selling at the museum, I could ask better prices, but if I'm just doing like farmers markets and stuff, it's not quite the same. So yeah, I'm thinking, I got to do like I normally create for myself. We all know that because look at all my critters and monsters and things like that. That I definitely make things that please me. And if it pleases somebody else, so be it. But yeah. So yeah, I just don't know. I have to be honest, like having this entire like almost 2 months now where I haven't been making things, I've just been creating. It's been a whole different mindset for me. Nice, Carol. That's nice. See, I've only sold journals to people I know. I've never sold a journal at a show or anything. And the people I know pay decent prices because they know me and they know how much work I put into them. But I don't know that one of my journals would sell for what it's worth because I make all the pieces myself. Maybe I just have to stop making pieces, use what I've got, and make use photocopies of my stuff. Like on these guys, right? Because these didn't take long to make because I wasn't making all the bits. The bits were already made. So then, I don't know how that would work. I wouldn't get paid for the time that I spent making like the monsters because I don't even remember how long they took me. If that makes sense. Hi, Sherry. Nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. So, that's the other thing that I mean, my floral cards. Yeah, like those floral postcards and stuff I do, the collage ones, they take a very long time to do. These ones. These ones. Because I'm doing each and every little piece, right? So, I mean, selling one of the originals would be a chunk of change, but printing them and doing them, the work's already done. I know. I know. That's just it. And you have no idea how much it took for me to use the photocopies of my monsters, right? Like, it really took a lot for me to use. Yeah, they are time consuming, but I love it, right? I could make those constantly. How many of them do I need? Mind you, I could do a wall like tiles. Ooh, no. But using the copies, I don't know. It just, yeah, that's just it, Belinda. Make copies of what I have as needed. See, these ones I was practice copying to see how different scans worked. and things. So I had pages of these guys. I chopped them up. That's true. That's true, Carol. Like I did these ones. Those ones were all original. The originals are the ones that I'm selling. Now that's the thing too, because they take a percentage when you sell things, right? Because they're on consignment. I did these as well, you know. Anyway, it's a thing. It's really a thing. So I was thinking, that I could do a bunch of postcards. These aren't postcard size. These are only 3x5, 3x4, 3x5, something like that. Anyway, that if I did postcard size, like 4x6, then yeah. But I mean, those, like the Goonie birds, I had them in black matting. They were matted and ready to be framed. And they were selling for $20 in the machine, $20 each, of which I get $12. So I'm just under what minimum wage would be for them, time wise. Just under our provincial minimum wage. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, these I don't know. I don't know. I could probably paint them faster than I could collage them. But there's something about collaging them. So yeah, consignment here is anywhere from 40 to 65%, depending on where you put your stuff in. 65% is a big chunk of change. So yeah, that's I really don't have too much else new. I've been really admiring your stamp punch that you've got. Yeah, Belinda, I've thought of that. But then, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what would be the best way to go. I guess I could print them out on photo paper. Then the color comes true. Because I've tried scanning in and printing, and the color is just nasty. Yeah. So I love your stamp punch. Like I've really been admiring that. I've been using like edging scissors and seed catalogs. I made a bunch of I love seed catalogs. Made a whole bunch of floral stamps from the seed catalogs. A lot of seed catalogs have printing on the pictures now, though. Yeah, see, I don't know if the other people who have, like, I've got them in that vending machine, right? So I don't know if other people have original stuff in the vending machine or if they use copies. Yeah, Sherry. Okay, Carol, I will do that. Yeah, so I have difficulty scanning in and then printing it and having true color. The color is always super washed out. So I have to use really, really high quality paper, which is still going to be cheaper than. But then too, I can't sell them as one of a kind. I guess I could do them like a numbered series and only sell so many of them, right? Do them as prints and sell so many, like maybe do 15 of the one and have them numbered as numbered prints. That would probably be a better way to go. That way I can still create, right? Because if I'm only making 15 of each, or even 10 of each, I guess I could do that, right? The matte photo paper, yes, but I've done it for photographs, not my stuff. The paper that I find I really, really like the best. It's, let me see if I can pull the box out of the drawer. This, and it's not a photo paper. It's just a really nice paper. But this stuff works really, really good. Really nice. It gives really nice, sharp copies. But the color is still not true. I don't let me think. What do I have kicking around that I could show you? But yeah, I find that the copies aren't true. But this paper is really, really nice. Can't remember where it came from. Probably Staples. And it's a heavier paper. It's a little heavier than copy paper, but not by much. I probably actually used it for this stuff. So yeah, it's about the weight of a copy paper. Maybe not. Maybe I just did these on copy paper. Okay, this is what I learned. That's right. These are photocopies. I get truer color when I do photocopies than if I do a scan and print. If I do a scan and print, the colors are nowhere near true. This is truer color. Right, sensor's down. I remember that now. What have you been working on lately, though, Sherry? Haven't seen much of your stuff that's been happening. My desk is still a mess. I don't think that'll ever change. I'm trying to get it to change, but you know, you know. Belinda's been doing some acrylic painting. Carol's working on filling another order, so she's lasering. Tina's crocheting peacock feathers. Allie K's cross stitching. Oh, you guys are busy, which is nice. Which is nice. I'm not sure what Andrea's been doing. She's lurking, she says, so I get it. I get it. I get it. The other thing I need to ask you guys is, what do you feel about words on artwork? Curious about that. You've gotten into freeform crochet? Nice. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's regular printer paper, and if I'm photocopying, the color's much more true than if I print off a saved copy in the computer. Oh, I know. I could show you what I'm talking about. Where are those guys? See, look at how washed out he is. Right? Like this is stuff, when I've been trying to, very, very washed out. If I have them scanned in. Right? Like they're really, really washed out. These ones were photocopied. So if you look at the difference, let's put them in this hand because you can turn it this way. Nowhere near the same. Nowhere near the same. And that too is a photocopy. So, I mean, I still use these and then I just hand color them and change them up a bit. But I got all this stuff to use. Guess I could send some in Happy Mail. But yeah. Well, guys, I don't have too much else to share. Next week, I will be probably much more up to doing some play. As I say, I want to do a journal that every page has some weaving on it. Could be some embroidery weaving or whatever. Yeah, highest quality, definitely. It's got to be set up. And I up the DPI as well. Okay. Ultra premium. That's good to know. Presentation paper is good. Ah, yeah. That's what I found with the Epson. You only get so many prints and then it stops because the bottom tray gets filled up with ink and it stops working. Paper does make a difference, a very big difference, definitely. Definitely. I think with the copy paper, the ink is absorbed more than if it's got a finish to it so that the paint sits on top, right? Because I know when I do with photo paper, it takes time between prints. Whereas if I'm using copy paper, it just goes blurp, 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 right? So it doesn't dry the same. Hey, Jolu, welcome, welcome. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you. I'm not doing much today. I just, doing a chat. I haven't been around for a couple of months, so just been kind of time to catch up a bit. But thanks for coming in. What do you do? And what are you working on now? I love to know what people are working on. You like Hammer Mill brand? I don't know. I mean, I buy the copy paper from Costco for my main copy paper, but I do have photo papers and things, various photo papers and stuff. Do you do like mixed media, Jolu? Do you do needle arts? Do you do fiber? Curious, because we've got such talented people in the group here. Everybody does a real mixture of things. And we kind of go through phases. I try not to do phases. But sometimes, you get stuck. Like I went through a monster making phase. I must have 150 monsters. Thank you. Excuse me. But yeah. All right. All right. All right. Tina, are you still here? All right. If you're heading over to see Shannon anytime soon, give her a big hug for me and tell her I hope it clears up, heals up fast for her. You get it at Walmart? Okay. Thank you. And tell her to give you a hug from me too. Like, just pretend I'm there. One produces inkjet cannon. Really? See, we had Epson and then we ran into it stopping printing. Everything still worked fine except that bottom felt got full of ink and it wouldn't reset. It just stopped working and there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. It was really annoying. All right. So thanks for being here, everybody. Nice to see each and every one of you. I've missed you guys and I'm back and we shall play next week. Not sure what we're going to play with, but I usually manage to find something. So thanks for being here, everybody. Oh, the hammer mill was bought at Walmart. Okay. I don't shop at Walmart very often, but I can check. Oh, thanks. So hugs to each and every one of you. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you guys create, play, guys. It's time to play. Summer's right around the corner, and I know that we don't play quite as much, but gotta play. Gotta play. All right, guys. Take care. Thanks for being here. Big hugs, and I will see you next week. Unless you're at Carol's tomorrow morning, and if she's streaming. Okay, guys. Big hugs. Thanks for coming. Bye now. Thanks to everybody who's lurking and any rewatchers too. Okay. Bye now.